Good morning, Kingsley community. Pastor Colleen Wehrman here with another daily devotion for Monday, October 19th, 2020. And again, I'm using The Chosen, 40 Days with Jesus. Today's devotional is called Blind Eye. Reading comes from the Gospel of Luke, chapter 6, verses 6 through 7. On another Sabbath, Jesus entered the synagogue and was teaching, and a man was there whose right hand was withered. And the scribes and the Pharisees watched Jesus to see whether he would heal on the Sabbath, so that they might find a reason to accuse him. So here's from the writers. What a strange, legalistic, and impersonal world. The Pharisees were more concerned about the rules than about the people. Here was a man whose hand was withered, which means nerve damage and atrophy, a result of what we don't know. Regardless, he was missing the use of his hand in a day and age when manual labor was necessary to provide for families. In short, he was in great need. Yet the religious leaders saw past him to Jesus, the object of their chagrin. This poor deformed man who had a name, a story, fear about the future, and probably hunger pain was just a pawn and a potential opportunity to drop the man derailing their world. And Jesus was derailing their world. Instead of waiting with bated breath to hear the Pharisees speak, people were now flocking to the man from Nazareth who continually bent the rules, which made him far more interesting and accessible to the people than the religious leaders would ever be. So people flocked to Jesus, but Jesus knew their thoughts. From the Gospel of Luke, chapter 6, verses 8 through 11. And he said to the man with the withered hand, "Come and stand here." And he rose and stood there, and Jesus said to them, "I ask you, is it lawful on the Sabbath to do good or to do harm, to save life or to destroy it?" After looking around at them, all he said to them, after looking around at them, all he said to them, "Stretch out your hand." And he did so, and his hand was restored. But the Pharisees were filled with fury and anger, and they discussed what they might do to Jesus. Now, it's easy to find fault in the Pharisees. They really could be awful. But in a few words, Jesus publicly outed them. He says, is it easier to do good or to do harm on the Sabbath? Let's be honest. Most of the time, it's easier for us to be like the Pharisees. We sometimes look away and not make eye contact with the homeless person. Sometimes we feel annoyed and even put upon when another person asks for our help. There are understaffed soup kitchens. There are people refusing to volunteer or just avoiding the volunteering because there's so much need. And there are undermined relief organizations that don't receive any help. I can tell you today during COVID, it's very difficult to find volunteers because people are still afraid to get out, and with good reason. However, there are many healthy people that could be volunteering, and yet we just don't have them. So I understand how sometimes we all can be a little bit more like the Pharisees than we can like Jesus. But the problem with that is that the ministries still have to happen. These people that are homeless, or this man with the withered hand, he has a name and he has a story, and they have fears about the future as well. And like the Pharisees, we have learned much from the Nazarene, who never turned a blind eye to help. So a couple of questions to ponder. Obviously, we can't respond to every need, but think of a time when you could have met a need, but you didn't. Why did you turn away? How would you handle it now if you got a second chance? And why did Jesus respond to needy people the way he did? What do you think he saw when he looked at them? And finally, list some ways you could react to an obvious need in the future. Could it be giving money if you're afraid to get out to volunteer? Could you donate to your local church? Could you donate to your local food pantry? Could you send cards to people in need? What could you do if you can't get out because you're at risk and that's good reason to stay in? And if you're not at risk, is there a reason why we aren't serving or we aren't volunteering? And if there is, take it to God and see what he has to say about it. Remember that those doing ministry are in need of those that need help, and all of us need to use our gift to bring glory to God. So whatever it is, no matter how small, bring it to God and ask him how you can use it, your gift and your talent, in a safe way during this time during COVID. Because all of us still need to meet that command to go and make disciples and to help those in need. That was a command from Jesus. So pray about it today And you can email me anytime. Just go to KingsleyMethodistChurch.com and the emails come directly to me if you have any questions or if you'd like to help volunteer. I'd be happy to put you in a place that suits your gift and your need. We'll see you soon. Bye-bye.